Hi, the subject today is something quite different from all my previous videos on this channel. It is always good to change the subject once in a while. That means that today I'm going to interview the Ukrainian model and actress Oksana Kniazeva. It should make for some interesting conversation and images. Oksana has been the model I have photographed the most since I began with photography. We have been shooting 10 times since we first met in the summer of 2016. That should confirm to you that she is my favorite model, as her talent and abilities in front of the camera are extraordinary in my opinion. She's a natural talent, which is rarely seen in this business. At the same time, she is very beautiful and an extraordinary human being on so many levels. Without further ado, let us get into the conversation. Welcome, Oksana.
Hi, Rene. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, that's nice. It's a nice thing that you said yes to this interview. That's always nice. But I think we will just take it very easy and relaxed today, and it will be just a nice conversation about what you have been doing for the last many years.
Thank you so much. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so I don't know where you want to start, Oksana, but I think maybe a little introduction to how it all began with you as a model, and maybe go back a little bit further in your childhood, maybe how your first thoughts became about modeling.
Right. So I guess growing up in 90s, I would just see the normal TV commercials and concerts and movies and think, wow, that must be a job, a real job. I would just be growing up understanding that people actually doing this for living, and that would always so be like very easy to repeat, I think, especially if I see some cream commercials when the girls would just like touch the skin, apply some makeup or some products and stuff like that. Like that's could be fun to do for living. And
How old do you think you were then?
yeah, I was 6, 7, I think.
Okay, already that early. Okay.
Right? Yeah. I think that was striking from the beginning. And then I was growing up as a teenager. I got into photography, and then photography modeling started for me at the same time.
Okay. So were your first jobs were in Ukraine with Ukrainian photographers?
Right. I remember I got my first shoot. It was TFP shoot, of course, when I was 17. And it was just very casual. I took a couple of dresses and we went out at the park, and there was a guy who he was doing the film analog photography, and
Okay.
then we just spent like an hour maybe of different things, and it just came so easy and natural to me, and the pictures turned out so good, like I decided to proceed.
Yeah. So what was the next step? Was that to be connected to some kind of agency, or was it still on your own? Everything was on your own, or and with connection with photographers you knew, or was it?
I think at that time when I was 17, 18, we've got the first social media, um, like a type of Russian Facebook that we call VK. And there would be possible to find a network and photographers. And I started just to add everybody who could possibly have to do something with the photography.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I'll give it a chance and build up my portfolio just by shooting with people and getting better and learning about it as well. That was quite fun. So I started build it up, and it took me, I think, 5 years before I got my first model contract to Turkey.
So you mentioned that it took you about 5 years to set up your you became an accepted model, so that was able to be found. But what about payment? What happened there? Was it trade for prints, or was it for payments?
Yeah, that was mostly for experience. There's not so much money in this in Ukraine, at least. In Russia, people don't really want to pay for it, and just in general, there's no good market for it. So People are just working for portfolio, for experience, and then they're trying to get out somewhere else for money.
Well, were there, I just have to ask as well, were there a lot of models active at that time in Ukraine, or was it just a few? In
That was a lot. That was a lot.
For fashion, I mean, because I could imagine there was for art nude or anything else, but fashion must have been more limited. Or
it's quite a big country, so
yeah,
there's a lot of people.
yeah,
And I know for sure back then the market was first you go into Istanbul, then you go into, if you're lucky with the height, you can go to Paris or Europe or Milano if you have a good agency. And then China, of course, Singapore, Seoul. Yeah, there is market, and a lot of Russian and Ukrainian models are traveling models. Yeah.
when you traveled, when you were a traveling model, is that always with an agency behind you, or are you doing that yourself as a fashion model? I mean,
It depends. Normally, model agencies work with other model agencies who is ready to pay for you accommodation and tickets and give you a job for 1-2 months. So you need an agency in order to do that. But also I know that a lot of people are managing just themselves, or maybe finding a booker somewhere in Europe and then just traveling. It depends a lot on the niche that you're taking. And is it a portrait? Is it fashion? Is it art nude? Art nude are a completely different thing, right?
Yeah, totally different. Yes.
There is more demand on that, I think. So yeah.
So that was what you was established as after 5 years. So you were about 22 when you were like well known in the inside the business, right?
I mean, when you do this type of thing, it's not a big network, and if you're consistent, people know you around and they keep calling you back, especially if you're nice and easy to work with, like I am. Then they just calling you back, and then you're busy all the time, which is nice. And then, yes, I was about like 22, 23, I think 23, I got my first contract to Turkey. I came, I remember, with my portfolio to the model agencies, and I did a catwalk and snapshots, and they say, okay, we got you a contract to the Turkey for 3 months. That was quite good.
Yeah. Well, was that a bit daunting? Were you a bit scared when you had your first job abroad, even though you had an agency behind you, maybe?
Yeah, I kind of already knew that people do that, and it's fine and perfectly safe. And I was calm. My mom was a bit terrified, of course, when I said that I'm going to model in Turkey, and that took me a bit of effort to explain her everything. But in the end of the day, I got there and I video called her and showed her the girls around, and it was absolutely fine.
Were the girls around you, were they much younger, or were they at the same age? Or because
I was the oldest. I
was just assuming that you may have been one of the oldest one, because normally when models go out in the world, they are maybe 16, 17 or whatever maximum.
Yes,
right?
They are.
They are quite young, right?
At least, it was before. I don't know how it works, because normally you would need a parent to go with you, I think, if you're below 18, right? So normally from 18 years old, or the 18 stuff, there are some younger people, of course, but I don't know how they manage actually to do that. As well as, like, it's not a legal job when you go into such places. It's completely legal. So that's quite a good question.
Are there any specific memories from that time where in Istanbul with the first when you're on the first trip?
There was so many memories that I'm ready to shoot a TV show for 3 seasons. That's how many memories there is for first 2 months.
Were there both good and bad memories? I suppose.
No, it's mostly good, of course, because it's a lot of fun. Because that's the thing about modeling. You go in and you're taking a challenge, because you go into other country, you don't speak the language, and this is your chance to go and shine and learn a bit and get more experience and get a better pictures and level up the whole game of your life, right? So you get in there, and then we have a little apartment with one bathroom and like 16 girls.
Yeah. That's a big challenge. I can see the challenge in that there. Yeah,
It
sure.
sounds fun.
Yeah, it does.
And then all the girls are young and very beautiful. And I can assure you, the moment the car stops and all these girls are coming out of the car with their books and little black dresses, all the full makeup, and just go for a casting, the people on the streets, they're stopping.
Yeah, I know. I could imagine that.
It's quite a scene for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But it's great that it was a good experience, because I've talked to models where they had both bad and good experiences, and especially perhaps most of the bad things were that there were a lot of waiting time, and it was an 8-hour day could be maybe for one casting or two castings, right? So it could be a lot of waiting and a lot sitting around and doing nothing, and just and then just come in for 5 minutes and say, okay, thanks and bye-bye. But it was mostly casting. Were there any actual jobs when you were?
Like normally we would spend all day in the car driving around for castings, for sure. And sometimes it would take a whole day. Sometimes we would have only a couple of castings, and sometimes they would just cast you and ask to stay for the job right away. And it also depends a lot on the model. Some models work a lot because they just type, and this is their city where they work in a lot. Some people don't. In Istanbul, for example, the big girls working pretty good, like plus size models, for example. And I didn't get that much jobs for like pajamas or dresses or whatever, but I did good on the TV commercials. And they paid very good, and I could just work like once a week, or like music videos, for example, as well. It was quite cute. Yeah, I didn't have to work too much, just once, but really good payment. Yeah,
fantastic that it was so different and so many different jobs. That's amazing. How long time did you stay in Istanbul?
I stayed first time 3 months and second time 2 months, I think. Yeah.
So those were your first trips abroad. Interesting. Okay, that sounded pretty interesting about Istanbul. Was very nice. I never expected it to be that varied with jobs and so on, but that sounded very, very interesting. Oksana, then the next time you went abroad, where was that?
That was China, Hangzhou.
Were there any? How many years were there between Istanbul and this? Was it just right next after Istanbul, or?
Right. It was, I was 24, 25. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I went to Istanbul twice, and then next summer I went.
Can you say the name for the Chinese city again?
Hangzhou.
Hangzhou. Okay.
Hangzhou. It's 1 hour from Shanghai.
Okay.
And it's a completely different world.
I can imagine.
The condition was much better, of course, than Turkey. We lived on the 17th floor, and there was like a big apartment, very beautiful, and there was only 3 girls, and that was quite nice and chill for sure. Also, we spending a lot of time in the car, just going to castings with our Chinese booker, and she's negotiating everything, and that was quite fun experience as well, like to see China and go around the city and see all these huge fabrics and see the clothes that are gonna come out in like 2-3 years, and it's the tempo is very fast as well, like it's all online shop, and you just like post, choo, and it's very, very big on production.
So you say, are you saying that China was more interesting sort of than Istanbul was, like the basics, like what a modeling world is, but China was more advanced, or?
Yeah.
It was just on a different level, or?
it's just a different level.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just completely different as well, culture, right, and stuff.
Were they also expecting more from you as a model in China than in Istanbul?
They in general more hardworking. I think like the work ethic in China is very different than the one from Istanbul, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is expected. So yeah, they would just go for longer distances, I think, and smaller breaks and big amounts as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So it was like, yeah, of course, it's also a different culture, right? So yeah, it is. It is just different.
Very hardworking people for
Yeah,
sure. For
yeah,
sure.
definitely. So how long did you stay in Guangzhou?
And Joe, it was,
Sorry.
I think it was 3 months as well.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, as
yeah.
far as I remember, it was 3 months.
Was that your last stay abroad as a model?
So next time I went to abroad, it was Denmark. Um, and I think this is the best place to be so far for jobs and for career at all.
So yeah, what was that? What year was that?
Ooh, that was also 2015, I think, first time I came here.
So 1 year almost before we've had our first shoot. Yeah, which
Right.
was in July 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was coming and visiting and building up some networks. So it took some time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You, like I said, you chose what you want to talk about. So no, don't worry. That's good. No, it took you about a year. When I can remember when I found you on Facebook, that was I think in spring 16. I think that could be yeah, the time. I think it was. And then I just had to take up get the courage to book you. I can remember it took a little bit time because I saw your images and your pictures, and those were very, very advanced and looked very good. And I thought, do I dare to book her as a model for a photo shoot? Since I was at that time, I think I began in 13, 14, so I was not that advanced as a photographer, I thought. So I was a bit, but I knew that if you booked professional models, you would get much better results as a photographer. And I think that is, can you talk a little bit about that? Just the difference between doing TFPs with amateur models and using professional models, because it does bring a different thing for the photographer at least. And I also expect for the model.
Right. Well, the difference is big indeed.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice for photographers still to practice a lot before they book the first model, because yeah, it's a nice investment. You're gonna advance your portfolio, but you have to know your light before you do that. You have to know your gears and your tools and your techniques. You have to have something already, so you can't just be like, oh, I don't know how to hold the camera, but she's beautiful and that will work out. That's not gonna work out. That's not how it works. You do your practice, the model does her practice, and then you collaborate in order to create something better.
Definitely. Yeah, but that was also why I went on a lot of courses before I even thought about being a photographer with a professional model. I think my first professional model was in 2014, and that was Art Nude from Russia.
Ooh.
It was. She came to Copenhagen, and that was my first one. That was so nice and so different because you knew the model knew what to do, and you didn't have to think too much about instructing the model, and that was a different world for me at least. And I think also maybe I think it's maybe more comfortable also for the model because you can just go through your routine as a model. If you feel that the photographer may not be too professional in his way for the first shoot anyway. I think you get as a model, maybe it will also be more routine for you instead of just being trying to help the photographer all the time.
Yeah, that happened before for sure. Sometimes I'm coming, I was like, okay, let's put some nice light together.
Yeah, let's
this is how that works.
Yeah,
and then you set up the light, and I was like, okay, here we need a refractor. You know why? Because we need to light up the eyes. And
Yeah, so I expect you have experienced quite a few different shoots, different types of shoot with different photographers, right?
Right, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And lately I'm trying not to, yeah, I'm
yeah,
I'm just going all the way up level
yeah.
because yeah,
Yeah,
it just
of course. It's much easier. It's also easier. You can more concentrate on your own stuff instead of what the photographer does, right? And that is,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Can you talk a little bit about just to, what is required from the model you think when you go to a shoot? And while you do this, I will just share the screen, I think, and maybe show some of your pictures. Just you can perhaps talk a little bit about that. I will start with a photo where you have, I think you can remember from our first shoot, where you had a lot of things in your, in your lipsticks, and everything was a mess. Just talk a little bit. I will just share the screen now, and I'll just show you some images, because that was quite a fun little thing you did there. Let me just share the screen. So let's see what I can find here. I'm sure that I got some pictures here that we can laugh a little bit about, because that was a very good display of how perhaps not to behave on the first shoot as a photographer anyway, or the chaos that could arise from that. Let's just talk about this one. Can you see this one? This is just chaos personified in a picture.
Yeah, a bit of mess, but it's fun, right?
Yeah,
It's
but
just,
this
I
is,
mean, this is the last shot we've
I
done.
think it
As
was
far as I remember,
the
it
end
was the
of the
last
shoot.
series because
Yeah,
like previously we've done like everything.
yeah,
We've done the good portraits, the different setups, different outfits, a couple of styles, and this was like the end, the crescendo of the
yeah,
shoot. Like
exactly.
let's go for fun now. Like
Yeah,
here it is. Yeah, that's type of thing you have as a model. You have everything when you
yeah,
come on the shoot. You have dresses, you have heels, you have all type of lipsticks, you have everything for hair. Sometimes you
yeah.
come in these rollers to the shoot, and yeah, that's how it goes.
That is actually how it is, isn't it? Sometimes,
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. You can totally see me coming to the shoot in the rollers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that is actually quite fun just to see that. So no, I just thought I would just share that, because that just describes the moment of maybe when the photographer has he cannot fathom what he has to ask the model about, and it's just everything at once, right? So yeah, it must be sometimes very difficult to be a model when if you have an inexperienced photographer. That must be chaos sometimes. So
Yeah.
that
I
is
mean, it's just not a good result, right? If at
no,
least one of the people don't know what to do, then it just,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, we can only succeed when everybody's doing their good job,
yeah, and they're
like
part of the shoot, right?
yeah,
So,
if
yeah.
one person is prepared and another one is not prepared, most likely that one person that is prepared not gonna carry the whole thing
Yeah,
all
exactly.
alone. No.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but that wasn't what I thought. I just thought that depicted quite a few good things from a shoot which has gone bad. So you came to Denmark, and you set up since a year before we had our first shoot, you set up your profile on Facebook. Was that the only place you were available as a model?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I think that's the beauty of this job, that you can work anywhere.
Yeah.
Like in every capital, let's say, at least for sure. So when I came to Copenhagen, I just yeah, the Facebook was the must-have, and then I got some um, model mayhem, I think the name was, for photographers and models. Then I got myself online casting, and I found every model agency and talent agency around, and I went for audition and I sent all the applications, and I got busy pretty fast here for sure.
Yeah. So that meant you have to control your own shoots, right? There were no connection to any agencies or anything when you went Denmark.
Not right away. Now I have
Oh,
two agencies,
yeah,
talent agencies, and
connected to
yeah,
some.
and just a nice network.
Yeah,
And that's all you need. You don't need much. If
No.
you have just a good reputation and a couple of people who is ready to vouch for you, they're working quite nice. Yeah.
So you used Copenhagen as a sort of a base since you were also traveling abroad, sometimes for shoots, or?
Yeah, sometimes for sure. I'm available now for traveling as well. It's like it's also cool to be based in Europe because now the whole Europe is open, and that's my long-term goal. Let's say just like go around Europe and do the more shoots. For sure. That would be fun because I know for sure there's a nice talent agencies in Paris and in London and in Barcelona and Madrid, and yeah, you can just go places for sure.
Yeah. And it's fast and easy to get there. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It sure is. Yeah. So I don't know what we're going to talk about now, but I think your modeling, of course, is now your established model as a fashion model, right? So, but you do a lot of different styles as a model. That is a little bit atypical for a fashion model. I mean, you can actually do anything. You can call anything fashion nowadays, unless you are absolutely disrobed, right? So if you're not doing art nude, you are actually a fashion model. And that can be swimsuits, that can be anything.
Right.
Right. So it's a big spectrum of things you can do as a fashion model. But not every fashion model are doing everything, right? But I know you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on by my own.
Yeah.
The lines are blurred nowadays in fashion industry at all. And normally people would say like fashion models, they are tall and they work in New York on the fashion week.
Yeah.
But that's not entirely true. There is a lot of people and in different sizes and different looks nowadays who are really needed in the commercials and clothing brands. And I'm making a living by promoting clothes, which is a fashion.
Yeah.
Swimsuits work, underwear works, dresses, designer clothes, online shops, new collections, all type of shenanigans is happening. There are a lot of work, for sure.
Yeah. So that could be commercials, that could be magazines, that could be anything, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I think that is actually, I don't know if it always have been like that for models in fashion industry, but I think it's become more, as the internet has also developed, I think it's more, there are more things available for models than wasn't in the old days. Normally it was catwalks, right, for the big models. And that was and then magazines, and that was it.
Right. Nowadays, the industry is more open for people, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Which is nice. We're happy about this.
Yes.
More diversity and more jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oksana, I think I'm going to share the screen, and then we will just begin to look through some of the images from our shoots, just for fun, just to help. See if you have any comments, or if you just want to say anything about them. If you can remember anything, I can remember almost everything in detail, but that's...
Just remind me how many pictures we did in one shoot.
Oh, normally it was around 1,000 to 1,500, I think, something like that. And, times 10, right? Or I think the last shoot we did was not that many, but that was a 300-400 or something like that. But it's nice. It's nice to have a lot of baggage. Let's share the screen, and then we can just let's see some images here. Let me go into this. I just want to be sure that you can see my screen. You can, right?
Yeah.
Good. Let's begin with the first shoot. Actually, I think there are a couple here from here. No, let me do something else. Let's go into the folder where the shoot was. Let's see if we can find the 2nd of July, 2016 was our first shoot. And I think actually this must be almost the first picture we took. I think. Can you remember? I think that was how you arrived, actually. Almost.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. that is just that was just our first image, and that is actually quite strange to see, because I can remember it, but I cannot remember it that clear. I more remember some of our last shoots actually, because it was just we just had to look, and we just had to get used to each other, and that is always difficult on the first shoot. But I think it's quite funny to see. Let's say I think this was maybe the fifth or the sixth shot we did, or shoot, not shoot, but image we did. And I loved those earrings. I actually loved those earrings. Can you remember where you had those from?
From Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you were also in Dubai at some point as a model.
No, that I was as a photographer.
As a photographer. Well, you have to talk a little bit about that maybe as a photographer.
That's a different episode.
Yeah, for a separate episode.
Me as a photographer is a
Yeah. That can be the next one. But this is I just loved some of these, because we were a little awkward in the beginning, and of course you are always awkward when you are a photographer with first time model. When you know, I would say this was my first professional fashion photo shoot. I had never had it was always art nude when I began, always. So you were actually my first professional fashion model. And that is actually, I think those images are quite nice, actually.
For sure.
And this is actually, I can remember that you drew a heart on that frosty pane here. I can just remember that. And I actually think I have an image where you can see that heart, but I think that is in the book as well. But these are just, I just think they are quite nice. And here you change style again. Very nice. You were quite quick at changing your appearance, which I just loved. That was just so nice to have a model that just knew what to do, right?
Right.
These are just quick ones, but these are, again, this was where I fell in love with your posing for portraits. I just love these images. Very nice.
Yeah, I love those for sure.
And again, here you changed type, and suddenly you looked extremely young.
And this is how you do the most efficient, right? Work during, like, you spend a couple of hours, but you have a lot of different pictures.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing that photographers do nowadays, I couldn't help to notice, is they do the shoot in one outfit with the one model, and it all looks same, but they pose in different variations of the poses. But like, you don't need 10 pictures of the same thing. You just need one.
Yeah.
And then if you manage to do it quickly and find an angle, get a shot, and then you can have a much better portfolio presentation if you can do different things.
That was also what I liked about your posing style, and that you changed your outfit quickly, even without, I think maybe I can't remember if you even said it to me. I think you just changed your outfit, and that was and then we did something else, and it was just so refreshing to try that with a model. And that was really, because I can relate to what you're saying about the photographers just doing, like one outfit, 300 images, and that's about it, with different poses.
Yeah.
And that is too boring, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There is no real, I'd like to see in a shoot that there's some kind of evolution in the shoot, that you maybe begin where you're trying something and then you're ending with maybe even the best pictures, right?
For sure.
So you see a development in that shoot, and that is what I always hope to happen in a shoot, I must admit, but it doesn't always happen, of course, depending on the model as well.
Depending on the model. I mean, normally this is the stylist's job to, like, that's why, like, if you have a big team and you have a makeup artist and you have a stylist, then it's naturally comes, they like fast adjusting, adding up, changing here and there, and then suddenly you have a different setup and then different setup and stuff. So the more people involved, the better result is going to be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
of course. But as a model, it's possible to also, like, I like, for example, to come prepared. Preparation is a big part of the shoot. And I like to bring everything with me, even more than I could possibly use, but it's nice to have.
I have seen
And
that.
then I also like to start like as natural as possible, and
Yeah.
then you can just always add up a little and take a small pause and take a water, change outfit, add some lipstick, go with it. 15 minutes, next look, next look, next look, next look.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, then you have material for a lot of time.
Yeah. Are there anything you want to mention as you said, you have to come prepared? Like you said, you also need to prepare some days before, right? As a model anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah. So there is a lot of things you need to remember, right?
right. That's
You
quite a big
could
topic.
just mention some things that you find that is the most important things, maybe even as a model. Maybe not go out binge drinking the day before the shoot, or like 2 hours before the shoot or whatever. But I know there's some that are obvious, but there's also maybe something not that obvious as a model.
That sounds like you read my notes.
I have just peeked at them.
For sure. No, I have it written down specifically so
Yeah,
we
while I
can
show
give
some.
a little bit insight of how it actually,
Yeah,
then
while
starts.
I will show a little bit further pictures, just a few more pictures from that shoot, just so you can have a little. Like again, here you change your style, but you can just talk. I'll just keep quiet. I'll just scroll through a few.
Right. So preparation for the shoot normally starts at the same day when you decided on the photo shoot date.
Yeah.
Then you start planning on what kind of procedures I need to do, what kind of things I need to prepare, what kind of props could work, and
Yeah.
what looks are you going for. So the better you prepare, then the more smooth shoot is gonna go.
Yeah.
So cosmetologist. Appointments with the cosmetologist, if you have, for example, an underwear shoot or a
Yeah.
bikini shoot, or if you're art nude model, right? You would want to go like a week before the shoot to do your boxing or your cleansing or
Yeah.
any type of procedure like the brows and things that can cause some irritation or redness. This have to be done at least a week before the shoot,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it have time to come down and
Yeah.
you're good and ready. Then discussion with the photographer on small details like what kind of hair we need. Is it curly? Is it straight? What kind of color on the nails? Is it
Yeah.
nude? Is it nothing at all? Is it black and old? Like
Yeah.
this all, of course, about the ideas and looks you're going for, the style, but it need to be discussed so way before.
I know
When you're gonna do this?
I don't think we ever discussed that, but
No,
I
because
don't think we did. So I was not too good in that point.
that's fine. Yeah, I think I would always just come with the neutral nails that always work.
Yeah.
Always work for any commercial, for any jobs I'm doing nowadays. It's just neutral nails or just clean nails. It's
Yeah.
always a good choice.
Yeah.
Then you definitely don't want to go party before the shoot.
No, that is a no-no.
Like you have a shoot tomorrow, you need to pack your clothes, you need to pack your shoes, you need to pack your underwear and socks that matches the clothes and shoes, and you need to do your nails and you need to go sleep.
Yeah.
Well-rested model is the best model, is the best pictures. You're not going to be happy with the pictures if you have eye bags,
No.
if you're tired, if your eye one bigger than another one, if you came late for the shoot and it's all the mess and unprepared. It's not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it.
No.
Don't party, go sleep. That's the best choice.
Here they.
And then don't party. Get your rollers into your hair.
Yeah.
And then on the day of the shoot, it's really nice. Like I personally wake up early and I exercise. Then the face looks much better and glowier, and you have this energy for the whole day, and you can bring it. Then you can show up in time and all prepared and well rested and have the best shoot of your life. Because
Yeah.
it's like a birthday. It's like it should be a celebration.
Yeah.
The shoot
I can
is the
remember
best
you
day.
said that about that it should be almost a celebration. Yes. Yeah.
It is such a good chance of capture you how you are right now. Because
Yeah.
in 10 years from now, it's going to be a different perspective. Like
Yeah.
right now, we're sitting and reflecting on the pictures within almost like a decade ago, right? And it's so amazing. I'm so happy I didn't party the day before that, because that would be a different shoot.
Yeah, it totally would. I can tell you, I have had art nude models that had not done that routine at all. I can tell you quite a few, actually. That could be seen in the images, definitely. When I study those images, I could just see that they had not followed that routine at all. No.
Yeah, it's the result is different for sure.
Yeah.
If you bring the discipline to the modeling, because it's about discipline.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
literally you have to. This is your job to look good.
Yeah.
That's all you need to take care of. You need to make sure your skin is nice and healthy. You don't eat chips, because the chips are gonna shows up in 2 days on your skin. You don't eat chocolates and stuff like that. So it's a good idea to be disciplined about what you do.
But that is also what I mean. That is the difference between an amateur model, or maybe a not too serious model about her career, and a very serious model about her career, right? That is a difference between a amateur and a professional, a real professional, I think.
Right.
Yeah, you can see it in the model's face if it's a professional model, right? I think so. You can.
I mean, you can see on the social media. Like I had, for example, a shoot where there was a photographer and another girl, and we met up with the photographer, and then the girl comes 20 minutes late, and she was partying, and she doesn't look so good, and she wants to sleep, and then she's just like so tired all the day. So I got all the pictures, and I'm happy with those pictures. I can post those pictures, and photographer posting these pictures, and the girl, she didn't really get any good portraits because she don't feel confident. She don't feel like it. She don't want to be there. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Because the results are not good. You can't use it.
I can relate to it as a photographer as well. Like I said, I have experienced those kind of models, but not as fashion models, but as art nude models. Yeah, that has not only happened once; it has happened quite a few times, actually. I would say about 10 times.
Yeah, it happens. I just love to come to the shoot and hear the stories, how how people are not showing up, or how they show up really unprepared, or how the model agencies are not showing up and stuff like that. Right? It just was like, okay, here I am, your backup.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think that is it's a little bit interesting that some models calling themselves professionals and are just actually just don't care, right? And that is weird. I think that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, right. It's a fine line. Like, what does make you professional?
Yeah,
right? It's like when is the point you can call yourself professional?
Yeah, I like this.
I love this shot.
I think that is actually from our about 5th or 6th shoot, I think, and that was in 2017, I think. But this shoot was actually quite a nice shoot. It was so relaxed. You can almost see how relaxed it is in this picture. And let's see if I don't have any more from that. I'm quite sure I have quite a few from that segment. I think that was These are also some. Again, these are different, very very different poses and use of your talent, which you can see.
It's just because we didn't had any light in that shoots.
Yeah,
like we were using the natural lights.
Yeah,
from all the time
up above.
We didn't reflect or anything. So yeah, it was very important for me to face up the light and do the best poses and catch up what we have available, right? So this is the result. I'm happy with the result.
I can tell you these some of the best photos we have done. at some point, unless we were outside, because that light cannot be copied in any way. But we will see some from that as well. But that is inside a hotel in the middle of Copenhagen. These pictures, and this is actually quite weird what we got out of it. All natural light, nothing more than natural light.
Exactly. Like, of course, it's not all of them like super perfect, right?
No.
Like normally it's like you making a series, then you're adjusting, and posing, and then the last shot is the best shot, right? And then we move on to the next look and stuff.
Yeah.
But even though I still love the shoot a lot, for sure. No, I mean, I love all our shoots. That was so much fun to make those. It's insane. Yeah.
And the great thing about all these photos here is it doesn't look like it's inside a hotel in the middle of a big city, right? No. This was just the available light, which we were just lucky to have at that day. Also here we have the sun coming into the hotel.
And as you know, I just love a good light, and I love this reflections and shadows, and I always try to sneak under some shadow to get the shadow half of my face and stuff. I love it, love it, love it, love it.
But it is quite weird how lucky we were that day, because it was a photo shoot, right? So hey, that was another one. Let's go off. It was quite fun that they were all coming in the correct series. That was quite weird. Okay, there are a couple more from that shoot as well. This one I like as well. Again, just changed outfit, and it was a totally different shoot. You braided your hair, and that was then it looked different again. It's the same place, but it's so different photos.
Yeah, like last 3 pictures that you showed, it was like literally 20 minutes in time.
It was.
It was 20 minutes like in between all of them. So we nailed it quite good. I remember in the end, like I was like, no, I have a dress and I have this and I have like 3 sweaters. Let's do them fast. Let's do them fast, and then we're done.
It was quite incredible that these days. And this is also from that shoot, actually, just from inside. I can't remember. We did 2 days of shoot in there, but I can't remember if it was just if it was just this one or the other day, but that doesn't really matter. But it was a good one. It was a good shoot. Yeah.
It's very nice and soft for sure. I love it.
I'll just stop sharing now. And these I think were just the one we wanted to show at the moment. But no, there are quite a few good pictures to see anyway. I'll just continue showing some pictures so you can just continue talking.
Right. So
are there any more important stuff you want to say about modeling before shoot?
Well, before shoot, I like to practice a bit. Like I think it's helpful to find some music that could inspire you to do things, like as if you were in music video, like practicing a little, different styles, different outfits, see how that looks, so you know how it looks on the day. Maybe you want to add something or remove something or do something differently, is always a good idea, for sure. And then on the day of the shoot, this is when the magic happens. So get up early, get ready, be fresh, be positive, stay calm, and trust your photographer. It's a very nice idea always to stay positive and trust the process, because photographer is your friend and camera is your best friend. So let those two bring the best of you and capture it. And
it is quite a strange thing, actually, that in that little box in front of the photographer's eyes, those images can be created. I always, but they are of course so dependent on the model, that, and also the eye of the photographer, right? It is a combination which is quite a wonderful thing. I think it's a wonderful thing sometimes what you can create.
It is a pure magic.
Yeah, it is.
It's even more just lays up on the light. Right? And if the lighting is there, and then the model looks good, and the photographer does the magic and can find a nice angle, and everything comes together with a lot of preparation, thought, and soul put it into it, right?
Yeah.
And the results might be absolutely magnificent, for sure.
Yeah. It is quite a strange thing when what you can create from that little box.
For sure. And
Yeah.
then you see these pictures on the computer. It's very beautiful. You can go to the details.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But also when you have it printed, it's a completely different magic when you have it all
Oh, it
printed.
is. It is. Yes.
It's so beautiful. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is different when you see it in print. That is really nice to see, because it is sometimes you are a little bit more disconnected when you just look at it on the computer, right? When you see digital images on the computer. There is something physical and tactile about looking in a book,
right,
or a magazine or whatever. It is just a different experience, and it brings a little bit more, it brings memories back to you that you just can't get just by looking digitally on an image, I think.
For sure. It just brings depth, I think.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, it brings volume to it and depth. It's very beautiful, for sure. When, like in digital, you can also go deep,
Sure.
right? And you can go close and stuff, but it's not necessarily the same experience as when you see it whole on the big, beautiful print.
No, it is quite a weird feeling actually to see stuff printed. Yeah. It's a satisfying thing to see it in print. That is quite strange. But I also like that when you sit after you have taken the images and you zoom all the way in, maybe into the eye of the model or the eyelashes, so you can really see detail that you never saw when you did the shot.
Right.
Because that is not how you study it when you shoot. You see the total image. You don't see the details as such. It is quite weird.
Right, for sure. But also it's just because the human eye, we're not used to have such a detail. And in fact, we retouch in people in our brain. Like when you talk to the person, you don't notice like the size of the nose or the difference of the eyes and stuff. This is type of thing that can be captured only by digital device.
Yeah.
But your eye don't perceive the person the same way. So we do our own Photoshop into people, and the more like the person, the more beautiful it is.
That is what you can do, and that is not what you see when you do the photography at all. You can really go in and you can actually sometimes even see the photographer inside the eye, which is quite weird, you know. It is so weird because suddenly another world opens up when you zoom in.
Right.
But that is not what you do when you do the photography. I don't think so. I see this picture. I see this, you know, which is inside here. I don't see what's going on in the eye in details, or with the mouth, or even with the hands. I may see, you know, the hand and the arm, but I don't see the details of what is going on in your look as such. I have an idea, but I don't know the details until afterwards. And that I find a little bit interesting as a photographer anyway. This is also an image I just love. I just love that pose.
Yeah.
And we were quite incredibly lucky whenever we did outdoor shoots.
I'm in love with this portrait. It's such a good portrait. It's so nice. Like I like the whole style, how it ended up, and
I just like your color.
Summer. It was bright. It was like so wonderful.
That is just beautiful.
Thank you.
And also this you had. Can you see what you have your nails, and you also have this.
Right. I mean, that's the preparation part, right? Like I did nails day before instead of parting, and like I put some things together, and
yeah,
as simple as that. Doesn't take too long. It's not too hard, but it works.
Totally different image. Just let's continue that. That we're not in sequence. This is actually also a pose I love.
Yeah.
Really good, really nice. Oh, that was just a different. These are. Hey, we could maybe look at your set cards from when you were very young.
Yeah.
Where is this shine? Is that in China or something?
No, it's in Turkey.
It's in Turkey.
Yeah.
And you were how old at this time? 22?
23.
23.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a totally different Oksana. This.
Right. And then three of these pictures, like first three, the big picture and
Yeah.
the top two was done by TFP with no money, and
Okay. Quite
the
amazing.
bottom two was a collaboration with the designer brand, but I also didn't get any money.
Okay.
So that's how it works.
Yeah, and then this is another set card. Where is that from? Star Models?
Star Models, that was my first contract as well.
That was also in
All
Turkey.
these pictures are entirely TFP. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's quite amazing, actually, that they were TFP.
Right.
Fantastic. Even then you were brilliant. Yeah, I like all of
Thanks.
these images, all of them.
Yeah, no, I spent quite a lot of time with the photographers talking about light and about photography and
Yeah.
poses and arts. And I spent quite a lot of time as well on the workshops and
Yeah.
photo schools, posing and listening what
Yeah.
they learning about and how it all works from the other side,
Yeah.
because it helps a lot.
Yeah. I think the main picture here must be beauty from a beauty dish or something.
Yeah, then we
Way
did
above, yeah,
for stock
right above.
photos.
It
It
looks like
was, yeah.
very, very flat light, so that it looks almost always like that.
Yeah, there's also a lot of Photoshop.
Yeah, of course, I know that. These images are also like, these were again from outside, from the same shoot that we just saw with the blue dress and so on. I also like those. Those were actually, you
This
suggested.
with bananas is one of my
Yeah.
like favorite picture
Yeah.
for sure.
I think
For sure.
you suggested we went into the park and the castle, which we also shot some pictures from, which were like here, where you're sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are so nice pictures. And we were quite a distance away from each other here, but you managed very well.
Yeah, I remember it was a long lens for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, this was an incredible day. I can remember it quite clearly. But I can also remember that I talked a lot when we sat on, when we ended the shoot at the cafe. Oh,
Yeah.
I talked about a lot of different things and difficult stuff.
Oh, look at this in the printing. It's like so.
Let me just stop sharing. Let's see it in the, yeah, you have it now. Yeah. Yeah, it is just totally different and it looks different when it's in a book. It totally do. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so beautiful for sure.
It is
Oh,
just a different experience when you see it in print. It just is.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there are so many in that book, but I did not choose every one of those. I could have, but I didn't. But
Oh God, like it's look how many years it took you to choose from
yeah,
all the things that we shot.
yeah.
We're still choosing.
But actually, it was only for 3 years in those 9 shoots that were from 2016 to 2019. That was when we had the 9th shoot in 19.
Right.
And our 10th shoot in 23, right? So there were quite a few years which was empty, right? So where we could
Right.
have
Well,
even the double number of shoots, but then we had the COVID, right?
right.
That was when the COVID was there from 20 to 22, something like that. So,
Mhm.
but it was quite amazing that we did 9 shoots in 3 years. That's quite fast, But that is also evidence that you were my favorite fashion model. I
Thank
cannot
you,
deny
Rene.
that at
I
all.
appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah,
so
but
much.
there were nobody even close to your quality and your very nice personality. That's very important. As I can tell you, seen from the photographer side, that's very, very important. That it's easy to communicate with the model, and there's no that you have your own ideas of what's going to happen on a shoot. That is very important for the photographer as well. That the model is available or ready to do anything almost, and you were always ready with good ideas, always.
For sure. Always,
Yeah, yeah.
always ready.
Yeah, you
No,
had
it's a
many,
lot of fun.
more ideas than I had, at least. So yeah, no, that was nice. Yeah, there was something else has happened to you, Oksana, besides the modeling. What was that?
Well, yeah, as photography and modeling progressing with the skills, I think I got into acting. and it was a very nice and smooth transition for me because it just goes hand in hand, and being in front of the cameras is very natural and easy to me. And I booked a lot of commercials and music videos before, so I was just, yeah, natural in front of the camera, and I know how it works behind the camera, so it makes a lot of sense to just proceed this. And since network as well, very tight, the casting agents and talent managers and bookers, they all looking for people always. So when I come to Denmark, I think I've done a lot of statista job, like to being like just on the background in like major movies, and just create the mood and see around and have fun. I also have done a lot of commercials, and I've done a movie and a short movie, and it's a lot of fun. I can see that happening for me for sure. It's yeah, I started on stunts training and taekwondo training, and let's see where it takes me. My English hopefully getting better a bit. Oh, this is me. Look at this. Oh my God.
Tell a little bit of what was that film about? I can see,
Um,
all right. So,
It was a horror movie.
hmm,
My first feature film is a horror movie. It names Breeder. Yeah, quite fun
yeah.
for sure. We were
Is that
shooting
a,
4 days, and that was really, really a lot of fun to
yeah,
shoot a horror movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm afraid I haven't seen that movie, but I think I'm going to anyway.
you can try. You can give it a try. I'm curious what you're gonna
Yeah,
say. For sure. No, but it was a very nice experience.
yeah,
Yeah, I would love to do more of movies and TV shows and try out acting for
yeah,
sure. And I think it's like I'm not in rush with this. I think with age it comes naturally and
yeah,
it gets only better, like with the roles, and everything is much better when you're a bit aged and experienced. So now I'm just taking some trainings and classes and learn more about it and see where it takes me.
yeah. Do you want it to take you some place mm, which can replace modeling to a certain degree?
Oh God, I don't think it's ever gonna be ending for me.
No,
I
no,
don't think
but I just mean like you're transitioning more and more to acting instead of modeling, or maybe, or
no, I still do modeling a lot,
yeah,
and I'm literally making pictures almost every day by myself.
yeah,
So it's yeah, modeling is not going anywhere. I'm not gonna replace it. I have it and I got it, and um it's nice. It's very different though, anyways, even though it's in the same field. Um, yeah, it
How do
helps each
you,
other.
since you can train to do better modeling, in front of the camera, what do you do when you have to be better at acting?
You do the same. You
You use a
train
video,
and you
you use a video
prepare.
camera, or yeah,
You use the camera, you use the mirror, you
yeah,
use someone else to help you with the feedback. You do use your voice. You do warm-ups, you sing, you yell, you talk, you think about the reactions. It's very, very fascinating.
yeah,
It's like a human science, right? This is the subject, human science, acting.
yeah,
How do we act? How do we react? How would you react?
yeah.
And it's quite interesting for sure.
It's different from modeling in certain aspects. It must be.
Yeah. I mean, modeling is for me, like, I think this is the just ability to take the emotion and sink into it in a millisecond,
Yeah,
right? Just like it's very fast acting.
mm,
It's immediate acting. It's like it's straight to the point. Like I'm angry, I'm
yeah,
happy, I'm thinking, I'm mystical, and like this different fun stuff. But in acting, you need more time. You need to actually think about this emotion, and you need to go through it, and you need to like
yeah,
let it naturally unfold and
yeah.
wait and get the reaction the needed. Like you need to
It's
milk it.
more like being human, right? Because you don't talk as such as a model in a photo shoot, right? So
Yeah.
that's the difference, I think. You're more like you
Exactly.
are.
You only talk with your eyes,
Yeah,
right? And here
yeah,
you need to
yeah.
also talk with the eyes, but not
Mm,
only the eyes.
No.
also your voice, also your instrument, also your body language. Body language can say a lot. And it's just different pace, right? Like acting is much slower and modeling is like a fast acting. And also the camera as well. If you acting in front of the audience is very different acting than you acting in front of the camera. And as for me, I have easier time with camera because I know the camera and I'm comfortable with the camera, and it's very intimate, it's very quiet, and you can just do you, and the camera will capture when you have something, like it will get it. You know, when if it's a theater, then it's a very different approach. For sure.
And that is actually what fascinates you about acting, right? That it is the pace is different, and there's many more emotions than doing it in a photo shoot. It is all about emotions, right?
It is.
So it is being human. It is
simply
right.
It also like something I like a lot about like a possibility of working as an actress is like you get the chance to live all different lives, you know, like all try different professions and lifestyles and see how that feels, you know, how would that suit you? Because we have only one life and it is what it is, but isn't it fun to try somebody else's shoes, right?
It's a different opportunity. This still while you're still inside your own life, right? It's quite
sure.
You act out other people's lives through a script, and that is quite interesting actually. It's a weird thing that has become an entertainment industry, right? I've always been fascinated with the theaters as well, because you know, people pay to see other people act as other people. It is quite weird when you think about it, right? It is quite how did it ever become an industry? So it is quite strange, you know, when you think about it a little bit.
But I think it evolved, right? But I've been visiting I've been in Coliseum, for example, this autumn, right? And it's fascinating, like this huge theater and like entertainment that people already then been able to enjoy, even though there was like a lot of killing and animals and battles and stuff, right? It's like it's all evolving. Like people need drama, they need emotions, they need something else. We're very sophisticated creatures, right? And we're getting bored very fast as well. So look at us nowadays, like how much it takes to make one movie, right? And what do you see? How surreal is that to see and to make? We'll see where it takes us as well.
It's fascinating. It is indeed.
So it was quite a journey. I've started at 17 with the thought like I just need one professional picture, that's all. And now, how much? 15 years later, I'm here with 9 photo shoots, 3 books, and gigabytes of material, and a lot of network and experience, and unforgettable.
And it's not over yet. You have just almost. So
I'm just starting.
That is what's exciting about life. Nobody knows what happens next, and that's always nice. Thank you for your participation in this interview, Oksana. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Rene. I'm so grateful for your interview and for all the work we've done together.
I think it was. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.